At 150 years old, San Quentin State Prison is one of the most famous, one of the most notorious penitentiaries in the world. It is steeped in history, a very violent one. Today, its walls are crumbling. The institution has become outdated, contributing directly to an overwhelming increase in both the number and severity of brutal assaults by inmates. MSNBC was granted unprecedented access, including a never-before look inside California's vicious death row. San Quentin opened in 1852 and today seems physically trapped in the century in which it was conceived. Old and decrepit, San Quentin is riddled with shadowy alcoves and blind spots. There are no electrified lethal fences. The towers around the perimeter must still be staffed, where incredibly there are fewer surveillance cameras than a single convenience store. And worse yet, a lack of modernization has put officers in constant risk of inmate attack.
Every day I walk through those gates, the thought crosses my mind, is today going to be the last?
Customers! Come on, step up.
Hey, spread your cheeks. Move on.
Okay, starting with your right thumb, you're gonna roll your fingers across the scanner.
Enemies? None. Gangbanger? Share a cell with another man? No problem?
That's how me.
Once evaluated, the newcomers are placed in one of San Quentin's 4 cell blocks. Each cell block holds up to 800 inmates in cells that are stacked on tiers, 5 high.
It's a 9x6 cell. Now, I can put my hand from here to here, and I can't even stretch my arms all the way out.
Somebody wants to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I got to sit down.
I might have to come up like this. Or either you can just turn to this side right here and walk this way.
Yeah,
Side
this is
by
how
side
you do
like
it.
this here.
You do your
and
back
go to
that
the
way.
bar.
This is what I do. I just take my t-shirt, grab my bar of soap, dip it in the toilet, because I keep my toilet fresh and clean. I hold my hand over the toilet. Once the toilet fills up, it's fresh water now. Then I can just rinse it. As far as the cooking, we usually use a can, an empty Coke can, wrap the toilet paper. You keep wrapping it, tuck it in on both sides. Sit it on the edge of the toilet, because it's got to breathe. As you see, it's like a fire. And you hold your can up here, and you cook.
At San Quentin, using fish lines is the customary way for locked-up inmates to share food, tobacco, information, anything.
Fish lines are throughout the institution. I mean, that's a common practice of the inmates. It's their way of getting something from this cell to that cell. They rip up bed sheets. Sometimes they'll get real fine ones by taking their clothing apart and get like a thread-size fish line going. They'll usually anchor it with a piece of soap or something that slides well down the tier. And then they'll send everything from cigarettes to full newspapers to any information that they're trying to pass, drugs, all kinds of things they'll pass with fish lines.
The design of San Quentin cell blocks expose officers to inmate assault.
With the age of the building, the way it's set up, almost anything you do, you're in direct contact with the inmate.
When it's time for the inmates to go to the showers or to the dining hall, an entire tier is released simultaneously. An officer uses an original antiquated key called a spike to unlock each cell door, one by one. Only then can the doors on that tier be released with the push of a mechanical bar. The feeding of inmates always poses one of the greatest risks for violence at San Quentin. San Quentin's lack of modernization places inmates within striking distance of officers and other inmates. Among the 6,000 inmates at San Quentin, more than 3,000 general population inmates eat their meals in the dining hall.
On most nights, there'll be 2 officers in the dining hall. There'll be anywhere from like 200 to 400 inmates. There's no guns in any dining hall. And all we have is our pepper spray and our communication skills.
On this day, prison intelligence has warned officers that a gang-related attack might occur at dinner. To reprimand for not fulfilling a direct order.
Tonight we're expecting some type of problems, possibly, so we have extra coverage tonight to provide security.
They asked them to participate in their gang. If they refuse, they are disciplined, and the discipline being slashed.
It doesn't matter how much staff we have, they will erupt if it's going to.
Officers are tense, watching for any signs of trouble. Pepper spray is at the ready. Sure enough, the alarm sounds. Prison-wide, inmates sit down according to protocol. Officers catch a man attempting to conceal his homemade slashing weapon. Fortunately, a violent act was avoided this time.
All right, okay.
In this cell block, inmates housed here are considered too violent to be permitted to leave their cells. So it's the officers who must deliver the food cell by cell.
This is one of the most dangerous areas in the institution. There's that clear and present danger as soon as you step on the tier, and it doesn't go away.
Officer Tony Jones has worked these tiers for 14 years, and he knows what inmates here are capable of. A modern prison would have solid doors to protect officers during feedings. But here, the cell fronts are open, allowing inmates the opportunity to assault officers in perhaps the most unsavory way possible.
The absolute worst thing that could happen to you is to have that gassing, is what we call it. It's a mixture of feces and urine, sometimes fermented for days until it stews into something that is so grotesque you can't mention it. And that is thrown on the officer through the bars. A lot of these guys are infected with hepatitis C, HIV, and many other diseases. I'd rather be punched, I'd rather be kicked, I'd rather be stabbed than to be gassed like I was back in '92.
Incredible as it may seem, officers at San Quentin say that there's an attempted assault on their lives almost every day.
They look for vulnerable spots. They look for times when you do let your guard down.
On last Friday, we had 2 incidents.
It's nearly 7 a.m. in San Quentin, and officers gather in the courtyard for a briefing regarding a series of recent assaults they feel may be related. So they've organized an extensive cell search for hidden makeshift weapons.
Now, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do a search line. Pat them all down, have them take off their shoes. They might be packing on the way in there. They'll be searched and fed.
After breakfast, the inmates are moved to the yards where they will stay until officers can complete their search.
We're looking for makeshift weapons, bed springs, anything with the razors, anything that they can slash these guys with or even stab them with.
The operation is broken up into several 2-person teams.
Well, Megan, I guess I'll get the top, huh?
You get the top, you're the tall guy.
Officers David Hamilton and Megan McGee each have years of experience at second-guessing where inmates like to hide contraband.
Okay, I found 2 razors that were removed. The blades were removed from the disposable razors, and these can be melted into a toothbrush handle. Use this real good slashing instruments because those are solid, very sharp razors right there.
Here's another one.
And looks like my partner's found another one.
This was manufactured from a bed spring. They pry a portion of their bed spring off of the bunk rail, they straighten it, they sharpen it, and this inmate used string for the handle. These weapons are very well made, extremely sharp, very deadly weapons.
We got about a 2 to 4 inch piece of bed spring that's missing out of here.
It's not red painted.
That's right.
Bottom. We spray paint it with red paint. That means it's already been noted, so it's not new and hasn't been fixed yet. So like that one down there doesn't have red paint. That's one we just found out about.
This weapon, for instance, very crudely made. Magazines rolled. This is a spear, and as you can see, it's pretty rigid. This inmate lodged a metal screw for the tip. When the officer or inmate walks by the cell, the spear is thrust out.
You wouldn't think that a rolled up newspaper or magazine would make that good of a handle, and it does. Very effective.
This is known as a zip gun. This portion of the zip gun is filled with match heads, ground up match heads. A plunger is used to push shrapnel, pieces of metal, ground up zippers, tacks it down. When his target walks by, the inmate would light those 2 fuses. Basically what you have is a double-barrel shotgun.
It's an old joint. You can hide stuff anywhere, like at the I-beams up here. I'm going to go out and check these. It's just a beam. You walk under it every day, but the best place, somebody's walking to the chow hall. And a lot of guys will know where it is, but they're not going to tell because they don't want to get killed. They don't want to get hurt for ratting. I guess you can't reach up there, can you? I'll get them.
You just had to point that out, didn't you, partner?
I can't help it. I call them like I see them.
By 10 a.m., search teams had confiscated several homemade weapons, including sharpened bed springs and blades. The search was a success, and as a result, several prisoners will be prosecuted. This is death row, where the method of execution is lethal injection. Today, the condemned population has grown to a staggering 581, well beyond San Quentin's ability to handle them. This forced death row to expand into 3 additional cell blocks, never designed for such violent inmates. Warden Jeannie Woodford understands the challenges that confront death row.
As the number of condemned come in, it's just created a situation with this physical plant, with the open cell fronts, their ability to communicate with each other and pass on gang information. It just makes it very difficult to manage that population.
The most sadistic death row inmates are isolated in the adjustment center, where assaults are almost ritual.
In the last year, it's probably tripled, and not only in numbers, but in seriousness. Just some very serious incidents have happened here.
In one recent 18-month period, 45 of the 85 inmates at the adjustment center have successfully attacked staff. The number of attempts, off the charts.
Mentality of most inmates in this unit is, I'm on death row, there's nothing you can do to me. If I assault you today, there's nothing they'll do to me tomorrow. That's their mentality. You can only kill me once.
Just like in general population, one of the most volatile times at the adjustment center is mealtime.
Morning, sir. Morning.
It's a typical morning. Correctional officers are arriving to start their shift.
Can't have bad breath, you know. Don't want an inmate to get upset.
They get ready to serve breakfast to the death row inmates. Today, it's 2 pancakes and grits. Inmates also get a bagged lunch with the meal. At one time, it took only one officer to serve an inmate a meal. He wore very little protection.
No, it's comfortable mode. You made a point.
Today, since attacks are commonplace and vicious, it takes 3 officers wearing full riot gear.
We put it on the trays, serve it to the inmate.
Anytime that you open the food port, you're vulnerable. That inmate there's an opening for that inmate to assault you.
Inmate might try and grab your arm, pull it into the cell so he can break it or stab it or, cut it, slash it.
There's been an instance where a spear was shot out at an officer when the food port was open. He opened the food port, turned and grabbed the milk and breakfast items, and when he turned back around, the inmate had some elastic set up to shoot out an arrow.
He wasn't wearing these, but he was wearing a visor. So we switched to these helmets because the face shield is thicker, it's harder.
They've been really tricky in there. One assault that I can think of, the officer was handing the inmate mail, and the inmate pretended like he dropped the mail, reached down to pick it up, allegedly in the cell, but came up with a weapon and slashed the officer's hand.
I don't think you ever get used to it. If you ever get to that point where you feel like you're getting used to it, then I think you might want to get a job change.
Because that means you can start dropping your guard. You can get you and somebody else hurt.
Free us! Free us! This is the lower yard, and the inmates segregate themselves out here. And the reason being that the gangs want it that way. Sound is a big thing in prison. If you look out, this yard's pretty nice. Everybody's out and about talking and laughing and having a good time. If the yard goes silent, you know it's all bad.
If it's something going on, you'll feel it. You watch your back on the street, so when you come here, it's just natural, you know what I'm saying? You don't look over your shoulder, but you got somebody who's already looking in that direction, you know what I'm saying? And I'm already looking behind him. You got someone sideways looking this way. So it's not like, hey, watch out for me, but it's like, when he sees something, he gonna say something. Hey, he's looking out for himself.
My thing is like this. You in the pen, you know what I'm saying? Before, you don't need to get ready, stay ready, you know what I'm saying? You stay prepared, you're always prepared, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you see individuals, you know what I'm saying, groups, always on the lookout. He's looking at every individual movement of this yard. When you grow up like how we grew up in gangs or whatever in the neighborhood, in the ghetto, you know what I'm saying, you raised watching your back because you got enemies on the streets. You go to school with your enemies on the streets. You get on the bus with them and everything. So when people come here, it's not nothing new to us. Yeah. So we've been watching our back all our life. You never know which one of your enemies gonna come in here, you know what I'm saying? If your enemy come in here and you're not aware, something can happen to you.
Free us! Free us! Free us!
It's clear that San Quentin is an old and decrepit institution in serious need of an overhaul. The debate over just how to solve its problems rages on. Some believe that the state should pay to modernize San Quentin. Others think that all violent inmates, including those on death row, should be relocated to a facility better suited for handling hardcore inmates. Still others think the place should be leveled and replaced with a high-priced housing development. But most observers say until decisions are made and new laws are passed, San Quentin will continue to be plagued by inefficiency and violence. For MSNBC, I'm John Siegenthaler.